virus. It showed the presence of little pieces of perhaps coronavirus RNA. It was a total, complete con. And the point about it is, we and every doctor in the world should have known that the PCR test was a con. Every doctor in the world should have known and did know that the deaths were not being caused by COVID. And I know I'm here about the media, but I am a doctor, and I'm actually disgusted by what the doctors have done. But getting around to the media, I, for about 8 or 9 years, was the darling of RTE. I was in and out of that building back there on a regular basis. The security men lifted the barrier when I drove up to it, and the girls inside opened the doors to let me in every Tuesday I arrived up. And I'd say lots of the celebrities in RTE, well, they all knew me. In fact, Gay Byrne and Kathleen Watkins, according to their daughters, were fans of mine. So one day I rang the late office, and Gay Byrne Pat Kenny picked up the phone, and he said, hiya Jerry. He recognised my voice. So I was the darling of RTE in there, until I was struck off. When I was struck off, correction, I was not actually struck off. I was suspended. From the medical register because I was a danger to my patients, and I was a danger because I would not wear a mask. I wouldn't impose social distancing. I examined my patients, and I allowed my patients come in without an appointment. I worked a non-appointment system, and that made me a danger to my patients. And then the absolute ultimate crime was not to give the vaccine. And of course, the bald Joe Duffy, the Ballyfermot buffoon, and mark my word, I know the guy, he's an idiot. No, Joe's a particular idiot. But within days of Joe Duffy publicising the fact that I wouldn't give the vaccine, the Medical Council moved and gave me 2 days' notice of being brought before a full meeting. Then 2 days' notice of being brought before the High Court. And then I was given 1 hour by the High Court to close my practice, with the loss of my staff, my building, my career. It was all taken away because I wouldn't give the vaccine. And I'm so proud of that. So where does that bring in RTE and the media? Not one of them. Suddenly there was Jerry Waters' amnesia. Nobody remembered Jerry Waters in RTE. No journalist came and asked me for my view. I was totally ignored. I was shut out. I was blanked by the media. That makes them. This is what I consider treason by omission.
Yeah, you're right now.
They ignored me. I didn't exist, and that's how they just get rid of you. I'm cancelled. I'm insulted. That little idiot, Paul Reed, is that who he was? Yeah. He stood up and said I was a disgrace.
He's a disgrace.
You're all traitors.
I was excluded from my class reunion. For 40 years I attended my class reunion, the medical doctors class reunion of 77. And suddenly I was off the mailing list. You know, like the sheer not, in all honesty, I didn't want to mix with those people. But the fact that they decided that they didn't want me, and it wasn't because of what I had done or said, it's because it was their guilt. They couldn't face me. So, as I say, like, we end up in a situation, and this would not have happened without the connivance of the journalists.
None of it could have happened without RTE.
Without the you cannot have an honest and true democracy in the absence of an honest and balanced media. Because the reality of it is, the media can sell anything. And unfortunately, folks, you here are representatives of the intelligent part of the spectrum. But that's true. I'm not here to blow smoke up your ass. The fact of the matter is, I'm telling the truth. You people are actually the smart members of society. And unfortunately, there's only a couple of hundred of you. But it is, I'm telling you, it is changing. And it's changing rapidly. And people don't have the interest to come out and protest. But they know. Every day I walk in Castletown Estate in Selbridge, and every day people come up to me and hug me and thank me for what I did. And people call me a hero. I'm not a hero. I took the easy way. When I realised what was going on, I did what was easy, and the easy thing to do was to tell the truth. And remember that those people who have dug themselves a hole by giving vaccines they're feeling very, very, very sick now. Each and every one of them. But literally, I could talk here for 3.5 hours. And I know you dubs down there will be screaming things up at me. Get out of that garden! So, if I actually took notes this time, so I just will look to see what else I meant to say. What this has been propaganda. From the very, very beginning, these people... Yeah.
Come up closer.
Yeah.
Come up closer.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Come up
What's that? It's not my fault that you're old. It's funny. I'm older than you, and I can hear me. Anyway, I came across a saying. Again, these people, they would say, oh, we try to remain neutral. If a man has a boot on the throat of a woman, she does not appreciate him being neutral and staying out of it. The media had an obligation, a moral obligation, to look at what was going on, and they were bought off. They chose they would say, oh, but we're not doctors, we were misled. No, you didn't ask the questions. And as such, you betrayed the people. You didn't do your job. As I say, I can go on all day. Just something about the guards here, you know. The guards
traitors
are not our enemies. Most of these guys are decent guys going about their job. We do not want to create enemies with any of them. Now, in any station, the guards here know there's always a prick. And a lot of the pricks haven't even got a prick. They're the young females. They're in for their 10-year period. They're in for their 10-year period and have their kids and get out. So as I say, overall, I do not want to be involved in anything that's in any way unlawful. I want to believe that I can shake hands with a guard knowing that they're doing their job. By the same token, I will remind them that in the Nuremberg trials, doing your job was not acceptable as a defence.
That's it. Doing your job.
Okay, lads. You know, they can't hear me.
What about a blue day for the Irish? The Guards, a blue day.
Anyway, you'll be glad to hear I'm finished. I've said my bit. There's quite a number of people who would probably make more sense than I do. In fact, there's probably a lot of people here who are a lot better looking than I am. But at the end, and I'll have to give them a chance. And maybe the older, deafer ones in the audience can hear them. Okay, thanks very much, everybody. Take your finger out and follow me on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, so push a few buttons and follow me on Twitter, okay?
We will indeed.
The next speaker is Derek Lee.
Okay, well, I give you something.
Go on, you boy.
I just want to say fair play to everybody for coming out. A lot of people travelled from all over the country to be here, and massive respect. But the first thing I want to say is, they want us divided. They want us sectioned off into little groups, because this group doesn't agree with this thing and this group doesn't agree with that thing. The point that we all agree on is we're here to protect our children, and we're here for the future of Ireland. So we really need to keep in mind the small things don't matter. When we are here for one reason or another, we're all here to protect our children and protect their future. But RPE have been instrumental for years in feeding us lies about what's been going on. For years we've been looking at it. But the good news is, people have stopped looking at it. People don't believe it anymore. 12 months ago, you could not have a conversation with people in this country about immigration. It was a taboo subject because of what that organisation have done. I haven't switched on RT in years. I literally have not watched the news or any of the garbage that they pump out in years. And if something comes out on social media, I'll take a look at it, but I don't have their channels. I won't ever have their channels in my house. But they've been instrumental in feeding information into the public psyche for a long time. And that's why the COVID restrictions work so well in this country, and that's why the racism card works so well in this country.
but finally we're starting to get real numbers on the streets, and we're starting to get real numbers of people who are aware about what's going on. We all saw it a couple of years ago when we were where we were. We all saw it a couple of years ago when we were all on level 5 restrictions. We couldn't go. Is it too close? Too close. Will I speak?
Yeah.
I have a big voice. I work on building sites and you need to be very loud. So, when we were locked up in our homes on level 5 restrictions, and I heard what Joey said about the guards, and look, you know, not all guards right are on their side, a lot of them are on our side, but don't forget, the guards had no problem maintaining those restrictions and keeping us locked in our homes, searching our shopping bags for socks and underwear for our children. So, standing on that side of the fence and calling us racists and this, that and the other, look, it's a paycheck. But what is a paycheck at the end of the day? What is a paycheck at the end of the day when your country is being absolutely destroyed from underneath you?
Well said, well said.
But we were in the level 5 restrictions, and RTE were having retirement parties for their friends, arms around each other, when they had every granny and granddad in this country terrified. They wanted them sacked by the window for Christmas dinner, and these guys are inside whining and dining and schmoozing and laughing at the rest of us.
Yes, well said.
So these are little things that we can never forget. We can't ever forget it.
Never.
I certainly won't. And that's why I keep speaking about it. But these guys need our money to keep themselves going. They can't sustain themselves with the revenue they generate. And there's a reason. And there's a reason for that. Because the stuff they pump out is garbage.
It's rubbish, shy.
Rubbish.
RTA,
Nobody
shy.
wants to watch it.
Crap telly.
Stop paying our license!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never paid any license!
Ryan Property, his salary in 2014 was €495,000. That's nothing to be sniffed at. His viewers were 599,000. That's the numbers of people that were watching him. That was it. Herman might be getting that. I'm certainly not getting it. Property salary in 2022, same, 495,000.
And he encouraged the population to exclude
his viewers have gone down to 344,000. That's 150,000 less viewers, but he's getting the same money. It's
Disgraceful.
he needs to be brought to account. If his numbers have fallen, his salary should match his viewership. Why is
Well
it?
said, well
Why is
said.
it that?
That's it, well
Because he's
said.
part of the clique.
Joe Duffy. Let's do Joe Duffy.
Absolute
Joe
joke.
Duffy.
Absolute joke.
Personally, I've never listened to him.
No.
Not once in my life. We've another langer down in Cork. His name's Neil Prendeville. I'm usually listening to him. He's on Joe Duffy. But in 2014, Joe Duffy, his salary was 400 grand. His viewership was 382,000. His listeners were 382,000. 2022, still getting 400 grand. He's got 321,000. That's 60,000 less, but the same money. Who's paying for that? You're
Bus
paying
got
for it.
shit to fucking
I'm
pay, man.
paying for it. They're certainly not paying for it. They're passing it on to us.
Boys are paid for it.
Pfizer pays for them, yeah. Ray Darcy, despite seeing his TV show axed, his wages have gone from 400,000 in 2014 to 450,000 in 2022. His radio show is 90 minutes long. His latest figures show a listenership of just 179,000. He can't justify that kind of money. He can only justify it when you're paying for it, because there's no accountability for these gangsters.
No.
And they all earn more than the President of the United States of America. Even
Disgrace.
Joe Biden should be getting paid more than them lads. You know? So that's how farcical our national broadcaster are. But these guys have been instrumental in backing the narrative in this country. Let me read you, and I'm not going to keep you much longer, let me read you a couple of paragraphs from their charter, because this is very important. RTE shall at all times strive to reflect fairly and equally the regional, cultural and political diversity of Ireland and its peoples. Would you say that's a fair statement?
Rubbish. Rubbish.
No editorial or programming bias shall be shown in terms of gender, age, disability, race or sexual orientation. Well, only if you're straight, white or Catholic. And finally,
That's it.
national and international news of high quality journalism and impartiality as a cornerstone of its schedule. RTE's news coverage shall be
It's happening out in
accurate,
Donnybrook, RTA.
impartial and objective. This will help set the agenda for informed, democratic debate in Ireland. Now, as far as I'm concerned, RTE are instrumental in abolishing democracy in this country.
Yes, that's it. Yes.
And so, I'm not here to give a political plug to my party, but when Irish nationalists are voted into power in this country, this company will be defunded. And if they can't, if they can't keep their own scam artists in pocket with what they generate, then they will have to go to the wall like any other business. Thank you very much.
Yes, well done. Close the place down.
Alright folks, let's go to start on the Trotsky.
Town is easy to get. There you go. There. But you have to sort of drive.
So start on the Trotsky there, please.
Hey!
Well, I went to Ballia Clay and Jibber Tashab.
Hey!
Canig Virginia, couple of Carlos doing you as they're calling Pelia, I guess, Cumby doing it now. Imagine you, I guess, can we eat the weight of the show we're mask? Ag Shasu live, I guess, in Eden and Jane Smith, I guess, in a Bragi. So it's great to be here. A couple of Carlos of us came down from Derry, and where else would you be on a Saturday afternoon except standing outside the cesspit that is our national broadcaster, standing here to do witness to the people who have been tyrannised, oppressed, impoverished and criminalised and murdered by these people. And somebody was talking about Joe Duffy and his money. It won't buy him a night's sleep, and it won't buy him the respect of his people. So I don't know what he needs from his life, because to be a paid perjurer is not a good look for any Irish man or Irish woman. So I heard my esteemed colleague Dr. Gerard Waters talking about the medical issues around this, and I agree obviously with everything he said. So I'm going to move on a wee bit and talk about, right at the beginning, we had the media is the virus, and we are now here in a situation where World War III is upon us. Did anybody here vote for a nuclear holocaust? Ireland's neutrality to be trashed before the nations of the world? Did anybody here vote for this globalist cabal? No! And never forget, all wars are bankers' wars. They fund the two sides of every conflict and have done for hundreds of years. But these people couldn't function without their paid perjurers in Montrose. They couldn't function without their rugby going on today. Bread and circuses keep them distracted. They couldn't function without the puppets in the government, without the so-called Republicans in Sinn Féin paying lip service and working for a cabal of billionaire, genocidal, pedophiles and insane individuals who detest every one of us. They detest those children. They detest this country. They detest everything that we have stood for. And people have said from the start that Ireland fell very, very quickly, but believe me, Ireland will rise. Now, I live in the 6 occupied counties of the north of Ireland. Do you know RTE until recently used to say Nashe Conde is Fihid, which is the only way that these two, the partitioned Ireland should be referred to. And we know that the Good Friday Agreement took away from the government of the Free State the constitutional imperative to demand Irish unity. And we know that that was sold by Sinn Féin and by their puppets and by the craven imbeciles who call themselves our leaders. But again, none of that could have happened without RTE. So my message to you today is very simple. Turn it off. Get it out of your houses. Stop paying to be oppressed. Stop paying to be lied to. Cancel your license. Send it back. Return to sender. No contract. No service required. And ask them to keep their filthy pornography and pollution and psychobabble out of your home. jurisdiction to pollute your children. They have no jurisdiction to enter your home uninvited and poison the sanctity of an Irish family. I had a great conversation with I live, as I say, in the occupied 6, and the man from the BBC, or one of the minions, came to ask me about my licence, and I had this conversation with him, and he left scratching his head. You do not pay to be propagandised, and tell them I told him to keep the airwaves out of my home, and he left scratching his head. They cannot win this war if we stand. And it's great to have protests, and it's great to stand together, but we need to be doing this in our homes, in our communities, in our streets, in our villages, in our towns. Communicating, giving the power back to the people. Because this war is World War III, is the people of this world against the government.
No, it's not.
Go home, Joe!
It's not Joe, Duffy.
Go home, Joe!
No, it's not, no. Drop that.
But we don't really look like Egypt either.
Get the fucker! You pile of shit!
Come on, Georgia, please!
Please come back in after that. Do not let people antagonize us. We are here peacefully.
No, we got enough. Why do you play like the bottom man just sat him down like? And then they would have had the phone an ambulance.
Did you see that? We are going for a march. Please respect the speaker. Well done, everybody, well done.
Understand the frustration of everybody. We want Texans, we want their country back. So we have to do things unitedly. Let's do things together. Let's stand shoulder to shoulder and not show the division. Man, let's move around here.
Yeah, fucking line of traffic now.
I understand the frustration.
mobilise. Exactly what he said today. We need to mobilise.
Like I just said, it can be so frustrating in Western to get justice from those that are there for killing us Stop the division that is already happening. You know, officers. Can I get a big round of applause for everybody that's
Well said, Andy, well said.
It's not us. It's their children. It's their future that are being raped in front of us. The rape that is happening in this country right now is unbelievable. They are going through the roof. Families are being destroyed by the vaccine, by the immigration takeover of our country, who are coming in unvetted and raping every girl they can find.
Keep pressing them.
It's over there with treason.
And these people are afraid.
Right, he's probably heading back up there now.
Because the guards label them far-right racists. The only good guard that I know is a retarded.
Back up.
Well said, well said.
Because there is no good guard.
You all cover up for each other.
They take orders from above. They will be nice to you. They will say, I know, it's all wrong. But the next order they take from above, they fulfill that order. They are not here for the Irish people. They are here for the globalists. To protect them, and to protect the agenda of the pedophilia that's happening on our children, in the schools, and in the libraries. Like in Malcolm, it's not in London, and Linda Kennedy, the last couple of months, will have started a campaign across Ireland to stop the global emergence.
Does that not sound like you're talking about? I think it's not. But do you not see?
Sorry. Because it's not good enough by saying, well, I know the books are in there, I just won't send my kids into that library. That attitude is not good enough. That attitude is not taking care of our future. We have to stop these books in its tracks. These books are shocking. But in them, the sex acts that they are being taught at such an early age is unbelievable. And these books are poisoning our children's minds just as much as the fake news media in here.
Well said, well said.
And that's why we have to be united like never before, for our children's sake. Not for me, not for you, but our future. Because when you look at our future, we don't have one. The future we have to make. We have to forge a new future for our children. And it starts in the schools, in the libraries, in what they're taught, in what they're getting into their minds and their hearts.
Brainwashing the
Children need to be
kids.
taught about real love. Not about
Well said.
Real love that endures. Real love like we used to see years ago when couples would last a lifetime. We don't see that anymore. Kids have everything so instantaneously given to them by their skills and by the social media that they're watching every day. We have to watch everything. There's a danger around every corner for your child. And it's up to us to clear the dangers. Thank you very much, everybody.
Well said, Andy, well said. Everybody listen up to this guy.
Michael Beasley. Maliki Station. I'm not going to speak for too long. We've come here from East Wall and other areas around the city because we are opposed to the current immigration policy in Ireland. Since last November, when the protest started in East Wall, we were told we were far right, we were told we were racist, we were told we were fascists. Now it seems that all of those in Leinster House who are shifting position, and in the European Parliament who are shifting position and locking up the borders of Europe, are now clearly on the far right. We said that there were people coming in to this country on the iPass scheme with no documents, no passports, which they had when they got on the plane. We were far right for saying that in November. The government have now admitted that that is the case. Even people like Michael McDowell, even Pat Kenny now accept.
Put up a TikTok, you were saying, oh, you might get barred off because I put up a TikTok.
Yeah, because I'm not allowed on it at all.
There's 76 people there.
Twice a week apparently, to check the documents. But it doesn't matter. They'll still allow them to come in. Next month, when the hotels are refusing to house asylum applicants, they'll be thrown out onto the streets or into office buildings, schools, churches, any building they can get. This government is desperate to fulfill what they believe to be their obligations. Any government and any sovereign government's obligation is to its own people.
Well said.
It's to the people who live on this island, the people who pay their wages. And we sat with a number of politicians, right from the Minister for Finance and the Minister for Children last November. We told them quite clearly that the ESB building in East Wall had to close. We told them we wanted a change in Irish immigration policy, where effectively the borders were closed because of the capacity issues in this country. We have nearly 12,000 people in emergency accommodation. We have thousands more sleeping on the streets. We have tens of thousands of people waiting on social housing lists. We have thousands of our young people being forced to leave this country after being educated here because they can't afford to rent or to buy a property to live in and build a life for themselves. Yet this government and the NGO class who back them up are intent on bringing in low-cost workers to drive down the cost of labour and increase the cost of living. It is incredible that in 2023 the labour movement in Europe is intent on driving down the wages of ordinary workers, when the trade union movement was set up in the early 1900s in order to ensure that workers had a good standard of living and that their wages were not driven down. It's incredible that what passes for the left in this country, who claim to be on the side of the workers, are our enemies. And be very clear, this is a battle for the hearts and minds of the people of this country. We have saw over the past 2 years how they were prepared to lock people in their houses so that they couldn't object to what was going on. We see the hate legislation that they're bringing in, so-called hate legislation, to shut down most of the speakers who spoke here today from speaking to you and speaking to the people in this country. They're bringing in exclusion zones. They started off saying you couldn't protest outside a hospital against abortion. Now, there'll be no buildings that you can protest outside of, except they say you can protest outside the Dáil.
Yeah, once you have that barrier, you can't get near it.
Outside the Dáil, that would be included in the list of places you couldn't protest outside.
Exactly.
There is something fundamentally wrong in this country. And there's something fundamentally wrong with the people who work in that building beside us. If anybody saw the new programme on RTE up front, it's certainly not up front the other night. If anybody watched Prime Time the other night, where we had something that they called a debate. A debate is two people with different opinions discussing something. Not two people who have the same opinion discussing it with a presenter who has the same opinion. That is not debate. That is not even discussion. We've had a better debate down the pub. Because we're not really allowed to go to the pubs anymore either.
What the fuck of
we had Lucky Cambola, introduced as a former asylum seeker. The man is a failed asylum seeker. He's failed in his application for asylum. He failed in the High Court. He failed at every opportunity. And he was given humanitarian leave to remain. That is not an asylum seeker or a refugee. That is somebody who's here to scam the system. And then he gets a job with a government-funded NGO to pontificate to the rest of us. We had Neil Richmond, the loyalist, the unionist from Fine Gael, who proudly stands with the Loyal Orange Order in Monaghan every year, telling us how Irish culture should be, telling us how this country should be run. The sooner the better those people are put out of power, the better.
That's it, get them out!
And it's not simply a matter of replacing Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael with the provisionals or anybody else. All of those people, with the exception of a couple of TDs and senators, support open borders. We saw the NGOs in town last week, a couple of hundred of them, while there were thousands of us on Monday protesting. We saw them there marching with the Islamic Brotherhood.
Bleeding all
and they
pain.
claim to be feminists, yet these people have no time for women or feminism. And yet they march with them because it suits their agenda. We had them launch yesterday their next protest, and the city's media were there to promote them with their fancy signs and their banners, all paid for by you. This country is on the verge of something huge. And we all, right through this country, and everywhere you go in this country, people are standing up and opposing what's going on. Whether it's in Dublin, every working class community in Dublin is campaigning.
Because we're not having that anymore.
Right through the country, Mullingar, Clare, Galway, every county in this country, people are saying Ireland is full and enough is enough.
Well said, well done, Malcolm.
How can a government stand over a policy which says our people can sleep in hotel rooms for years, or that they can sleep in tents on the rivers or the canals,
And then the
or they can wait
off them.
in their mother's box room for 20 years to get a house of their own from the council? How can a government say that that's okay?
Because they're all making
How can a government say that it's okay to pile billion after billion into the health service, which still has 1 million people almost waiting on medical appointments?
How can they stand over 100,000 children waiting on mental health assessments? How can they stand over overcrowded classrooms and at the same time increase the population last year by over 80,000 and intend to do the same again this year? There's something fundamentally wrong with people who have that viewpoint. And let nobody be in any doubt, we are winning this battle. Every day the government puts out a contradictory statement to the one before they put out the day before. Last week they said that people, when they apply for asylum, will be given an appointment date. Now this is Ireland, and those people should be told that those appointment dates are probably just like a hospital appointment date. It'll never happen. They're told their asylum application will be decided within 3 months. Most of those applications can be decided on in the airport.
Well said, Maggie, well said.
It takes 3 to 4 years for any of their applications to be decided at first stage. Then it's right through the High Courts, appeal after appeal. Then they get humanitarian leave to remain. Harris said last week that they issued 130 deportation orders in January. Now, I don't know if anybody watches that Australian programme where people are trying to get in and they're going through customs. And they're put back on a plane if they don't have the right documents.
Yeah, that's what needs to be done.
The deportation order in this country means nothing.
Just wrap a bag of chips
because you're asked to self-deport. That's like saying you lift somebody for murder, bring them through the criminal process and say, just pop up to the joy whenever you're ready. Every policy and at every level in this country, the system is broken. And it's time for it to be fixed. And that's what we are demanding, that at every level of society we get it fixed. And that's why, to do that, firstly, we need to close the borders. Thank you.
Well done, Maggie, that's it.
Thanks, we're about 12 minutes going to head out onto the road, okay? There's Cathy there just to say a few words there.
Sorry. Excuse me.
Just a bit of housekeeping here. I just want to say a lot of love here, and if that's what far right is, I'm far right. And then we're going to try and take
no far right.
With the boards. But when you're finished, can you all put the boards back across there? We're selling some of them €5, €10 and €15 if you want to put something in for the funds for the next one. But just when we're finished, if you can just leave the boards over there. Alright, cheers, that's it.
Cheers.
Just one more thing, there's a man over there, and none of this would have happened without him. He's an absolute stalwart of this movement. He's over across the road there, Barry Stone. Will you please give him a round of applause? Excellent gentleman.
You vanished. Oh, yeah. I only went as far as there.
Now we have to block the road.
Now we can block the roads.
Hold on, folks.
Make it fast! Fast!
And I got me tripped up today, yeah. My son said to me, my son said to me, Mom, I can't about
Do you have any large sizes?
I should have a large there,
Yeah,
alright.
I'll get one out in a bit,
I'll just grab it. I'll tell Mick where it is.
I'll give you a shout in a bit, right? Sorry.
On a large.
Mick, have you got large sizes?
I'll see you there. I'll have a look. Right, I'll have a look.
If you have one extra large or two large, I'll take one as well, yeah?
Let's go through them, yeah?
Right.
Check out these. Look, there's these ones as well, right? So we've got these ones as well, the Nuremberg too.
Yeah, if you fit me,
Pretty popular.
what size? Now, have you got the Irish one now?
Geez, I'm not sure now. These ain't...
What's that one? Think White, it's still legal.
Which one is that?
That's Think White. Have you not got the RT Irish one now?
I'll have a look. I'm not sure if I do have a big one now, to be quite honest, Gov.
Oh, the
That's a Nuremberg, isn't it?
What size is the Nuremberg?
That's not too bad. That's a large.
Yeah. Oh. You got change?
Yeah, I do, Gov.
Lovely.
There you go, Gov.
15 or 10?
Well,
Andy said a tenner.
Did he say a tenner?
Yeah,
Well,
he
I'll
did.
tell you what, mate, I don't know what he's doing.
He did
really.
say a tenner. Alright, good. I understand, but I know, but tenner's a tenner.
Come here, Malky, thanks for saying hello. Best of luck.
Okay, YouTube channel.
Thanks very much.
Michael Pavel. The last one to give a talk. Michael Pavel in the house. Okay, everybody, if we can just...
This is the Irish gift from Telegram, folks. Should suss them out on Telegram.
How are you all doing, folks? Look, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. I'm here today, RTE and the mainstream legacy media in Ireland. It's done a great job for the last 20 years of protecting the government. Every scandal that should have come out. Then over the COVID era, they've done the same. And now we're all far because we're concerned parents, we're concerned about our children. We have aunties and uncles concerned about their nephews and nieces. We're all concerned around the country, normal people, and we're being called far right and racist every day by them, and we must thank them for that because people are seeing through that.
Yeah, no far right here, no far right.
That they do, the more people see through it and see through it, and that's why average show people like myself are getting views on videos online and being shared around, and people are taking in what we're saying because they don't believe a word of what they're saying. Now what's going on in this country at the minute? Ireland is full. I couldn't get a doctor's appointment for my child 2 weeks ago. I asked could I book one for a week or two in advance. They said no, you'll have to keep ringing back. That means the country's full, right? If you can't get the health service in crisis, say, the mental health crisis, we have a homeless crisis. What happens with all these crises if you add any amount of people to the population, let alone an uncapped number? They get worse. They don't fix themselves. And they want us all competing with each other and competing with the people they're bringing in for these services. And it can't happen. People are going to get hurt and die. People are going to suffer. 4,000 children are on the waiting list for mental health in this country. That's disgraceful. There shouldn't be one. But do they think bringing in all these people and all the people making money off this, you're making money off the movement of people. Okay? And if you make money off the movement of people, it's human trafficking. It's glorified and state-sponsored human trafficking,
and it's supported and promoted by them pricks in there. We all need to go to stop it, and everyone needs to wake up and realise what's going on. Ireland have taken in, we've had proper migration here for years. People have integrated into our society. They work in our hospitals, they're teachers, they accept our culture, and they spread a bit of theirs along with it. And I call on all them people to come out and protest as well. Because your families are in harm from what's going on here. Your families are in the same fire line that ours are in. So we all need to come together and end this.
Well said! Well said! Go on, mate! Right folks, this is the first time I've gone live on TikTok. I won't be doing it on a regular basis. But come here, I'm going to leg it now, right? And no, I don't make money off this. That's not my aim anyway. It's the very first live I've done. Oh yeah, nice to meet you, nice to meet you. I'll talk to you again. I know. Right folks, I'm going to hang up now off the live. You should be all here, them who could make it, right? Have a nice weekend folks, right? Go on, see us now, bye bye. Yeah, it'd be nice if I could get a few more followers, alright. It would be nice, right? Go on, have a nice weekend.